Hey everyone, there are some buildings that can be found in the most remote and difficult to reach regions of the Earth. Join me for the top 15 most unusual places where buildings exist. Starting with number 15, the Palace de Sal in Bolivia. The Palacio de Sal, or the Palace of Salt, is an extraordinary hotel that's made entirely of salt, and it's located on the edge of Bolivia's Salar de Uyuni, which is the world's largest salt flat. It was built in 1998 by Juan Caseravalda, and to make it, the workers used 1,000,000 blocks of salt, which were used for the walls, floors, ceilings, and even the furniture. These salt blocks were harvested from the salt flats themselves, ensuring that the hotel remains in keeping with its natural surroundings. The design of the hotel, too, kind of reflects the beauty of the salt flats, with its white crystalline appearance blending in with the vast expanse of salt. The hotel has 30 rooms, each with a unique design. In addition to providing unique accommodations, the Palacio del Sol makes the most of its location and offers a range of activities that allow guests to explore the stunning surroundings. Guided tours of the salt flats, trips to the nearby Incahuasi Island with its giant cacti, and visits to the Hoyo de Perdiz hot springs are great ways to experience the beauty of the salt flats, while also being able to stay there in luxury too, which is nice. Number 14, the Mana Pass Border Fort in India. So there's a number of structures across the world that have been built at extreme altitudes, but the highest building that's permanently lived in is the border fort at Mana Pass, which is in the Indian state of Uttarakhand in the Himalayas. The Mana Pass itself, which is known as Manala, is one of the highest motorable roads in the world at an elevation of over 18,000 feet or 5,600 meters. And both the fort and the road have strategic military importance because of its position along the Indian border with China. The fort sign of how tough the conditions are up there, even the journey to the border fort is a tricky one. The approach to Mana Pass begins from the small village of Mana, often known as the last village of India due to its closeness to the border, and the road to the pass is treacherous, winding through steep mountains often covered with snow. This route is accessible for only a few months of the year, typically from May to October, due to the heavy snowfall that makes the pass almost impossible to reach from the Indian side during winter. Although in modern times, this is a place that's mostly thought of because of its military significance. The area around Mana Pass, though, and the fort also holds cultural and spiritual importance. The village is home to Beam Pool, a natural rock bridge that's said to have been built by the Pandava brothers during their journey to the heavens. And it's this, along with the stunning landscape, that's led to the region being declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 13, the Church of St. George, Ethiopia. So the Church of St. George, which is in Ethiopia, it's one of the most response to the conquest of the Holy Land, which had made pilgrimages to Jerusalem increasingly difficult for the Ethiopian Christians. As a result, the churches of this place were meant to become a pilgrimage site within Ethiopia, allowing the faithful to undertake a sacred journey without leaving their homeland. The Church of St. George is the most famous of these churches, and it's considered a masterpiece of rock-cut architecture. It's carved in the form of a Greek cross, and it's around 40 feet or 12 meters high. Seemingly, in the middle of nowhere, the church is accessed through a series of narrow passages and tunnels, and inside it's got a simple, stunning design with a cross-shaped windows and intricate carvings. Now, legend has it that the king was inspired to build the Church of St. George after a vision of St. George himself, who was the patron saint of Ethiopia. According to the story, St. George appeared to the king and instructed him to construct a church in his honor. No one knows how he actually went about building the church, though, although it's believed that thousands of laborers under the direction of skilled craftsmen and architects research laboratory, and it's operated by Florida International University. It provides scientists with a platform to live and work beneath the sea for extended periods of time to conduct research in marine biology, oceanography, and coral reef ecology. The Aquarius Reef Base is located approximately 5.4 miles or about 8.5 kilometers off the coast of Key Largo at a depth of about 62 feet or 18.9 meters below the surface. It's positioned near Conch Reef, which is a thriving coral reef that offers a diverse and rich environment for scientific study. The habitat itself is a cylindrical structure that's around 43 feet or 13 meters long, 9 feet or 2.7 meters in diameter, and it's equipped with living quarters, a kitchen and workspaces, and allows researchers to conduct their studies while living underwater for up to 10 days at a time. The design allows aquanauts, the scientists who live and work at Aquarius, to dive directly from the base without undergoing any decompression stops. And they can spend up to 9 hours per day conducting research and testing equipment in an environment that mimics the isolation and challenges of space. This collaboration shows the versatility of the Aquarius Reef base and makes it not just useful for marine science, but also for space exploration. Number 11. The Niterói Contemporary Art Museum in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The Niterói Contemporary Art Museum is a bold building that was designed by the renowned Brazilian architect Oscar Niemeyer, and completed in 1996. It's known for its futuristic structure and its prominent role in Brazil's art scene. It sits in a precarious position on a cliffside overlooking Guanabara Bay. But this location is integral to it. From the museum, visitors are treated to some of the best views of Rio de Janeiro, including the iconic Sugarloaf Mountain and the city skyline. The building itself looks kind of like a UFO or a large white flower floating above its reflecting pool, which is a form that was chosen by Niemeyer because of his love of harmonizing architecture with levitating. The interplay of light and shadow here, along with the surrounding landscape, creates an environment that's always changing through the time of day and the seasons. Since opening, the Niterói Contemporary Art Museum has become a cultural center of the city, and it now hosts a variety of temporary and permanent exhibitions. The museum aims to promote contemporary art and stimulate cultural exchange, making it one of the most important institutions in Brazil's art scene, despite being in such an unusual location. Number 10. The Atchafalaya Basin in Louisiana. The Atchafalaya Basin in central Louisiana is by far the largest area of wetland and swamp in the United States, and it's where the Atchafalaya River and the Gulf of Mexico meet. Made up of around 70% forest and 30% marsh and open water, it is a huge floodplain, and not exactly the kind of place you would normally think of being ideal to build permanent structures. It is, though, home to a number of communities and thousands of people, most of who comfortable space to enjoy the outdoors while keeping the insects at bay. These porches serve as crucial living spaces, offering a place to relax, socialize, and watch the surrounding wildlife. Life in the Atchafalaya Basin is closely tied to the rhythms of nature, and the swamp houses are no different. The residents, many of whom descended from Acadian settlers, have a deep cultural heritage. They engage in activities such as fishing, hunting, and trapping, which are how they get their food, and also integral part of their lifestyle and traditions. The swamp houses are often surrounded by towering cypress and tupelo trees draped in Spanish moss, creating a very serene environment. The waterways here are teeming with fish, crawfish, and other aquatic life, while the skies are filled with a variety of bird species, from egrets and herons to the occasional bald eagle. Despite these adaptations, though, it's the remote location of many swamp houses that can make access to services and supplies pretty difficult. With the added threat of hurricanes and flooding, these are some of the most prepared and resilient residents, which caters to travelers looking for an eco-friendly escape. The tree houses are cleverly built using locally sourced materials, and they're suspended high above the ground. They're built on sturdy trees without causing harm to the tree or its surroundings. You could quite easily walk past without even realizing they're there, and they provide a truly unique way of experiencing nature. Inside, the treehouse is furnished with handcrafted wooden furniture, coir mats, and simple decor that reflects the local culture. Large windows and balconies provides breathtaking views of the forest, allowing guests to feel completely immersed. And the gentle sway of the tree and sounds of the forest create a tranquil atmosphere that's perfect for relaxation. The resort prioritizes sustainability in every aspect of what it does, with solar panels that provide electricity, rainwater harvesting systems to ensure reliable water, and waste management practices including composting and recycling to minimize its impact. Organic farming happens here too on site, providing fresh, locally grown produce for the resort's restaurant. Guests here can also in Warsaw, Poland. With the way that cities are often built, especially the ones that are old, there's often gaps between structures that are too small to be of any use. Increasing populations, however, have forced planners to look at every bit of free space as a site for potential development, and the most extreme and surprising example of this in the world can be seen in Warsaw. Known as the narrowest house in the world, the Carrot House was built in a gap between two larger buildings in the Wola district of the city, and is, amazingly, just 36 inches wide, or 92 centimeters at its narrowest point, and 60 inches or 152 centimeter wide at its widest. It was designed by architect Jacob Seźny of the architectural collective Centrala, who came up with the idea in 2009 when he saw an unused piece of land between a pre-war building and a modern apartment block. The project was named after Israeli writer-filmmaker Edgar Keret, who was the first tenant and remains closely associated with the house. Construction began in 2012 and encountered a few unexpected. Despite its tiny size, though, the house does have modern features too, including heating, air conditioning, and Wi-Fi. Living in this house is said to be a bizarre experience with a focus on simplicity and minimalism. The limited space means you can't have many personal belongings or do many daily activities there, which forces you to think about material possessions and how you use every inch of space. Moving on to number 7, the Monastery of the Holy Trinity, Meteora, Greece. The Monastery of the Holy Trinity is one of the most important historic monastic sites in the world. It's on the top of a towering sandstone pillar, and it's part of the Meteora complex, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that was recognized for its incredible landscape and spiritual significance. The name Meteora translates to mean suspended in the air, and it's clear to see why that is, as these buildings seem to float above the Thessalian plains. This monastery was founded in the late 14th century by a monk named Domitius, and the only way to reach it at the century. It features a cruciform design with a central dome, which was typical of Byzantine architecture, and the interior of the church features frescoes that depict various religious scenes, saints, and biblical events. One of the most important features of the monastery is its iconostasis, which is a screen that's decorated with icons and separates the sanctuary from the nave. This intricately carved wooden structure is one of the best examples of its kind and religious art that you'll ever see, and it shows the skills of the artists who created it. The monastery also has a small museum that shows religious artifacts, manuscripts, and other historical items to give you a better idea of the monastic life and heritage of this place. Number 6, the Manta Resort in Tanzania. The Manta Resort, which is on the extreme remote Pemba Islands in Tanzania, is a luxurious retreat that's popular for its breathtaking surroundings. Found in the Zanzibar archipelago, Pemba Island is often called the Green Island due to its lush landscapes and pristine illuminate the local sea life. The structure includes a comfortable landing deck at sea level with a lounge area and a bathroom facility, and the rooftop deck that's perfect for sunbathing. The main resort on the island has other options too, from seafront villas to garden rooms, and each designed to blend in with the environment. Something that supports local communities and makes sure that the resort has minimal ecological footprint. As you'd expect from somewhere that's in such a special place, activities here are designed to highlight the natural beauty and culture of Pemba Island. For those seeking adventure on land, the resort offers guided tours on the island's spice farms, lush forests, and villages. Kayaking, dhow sailing, and nature walks are also popular here, allowing guests to fully appreciate the diverse ecosystem. Number 5, the Glacier Hotel, Greywind, Italy. The Glacier Hotel, which is in the picture-perfect South Tyrol of Italy, holds the record for being the highest hotel in Europe. Set at an elevation of over 10,500 feet, or just over 32 architectural standpoint, the hotel is designed to blend in seamlessly with its environment. The use of natural materials like wood and stone enhances this inviting atmosphere. The interior design focuses more on comfort and relaxation, with large rooms, plush furnishings, and features that cater to the needs of the adventurous travelers. During the winter months, guests can step out of the hotel and onto the slopes of a glacier, which offers excellent skiing and snowboarding, with an extensive network that caters to all skill levels, from beginners to advanced skiers. For those people who prefer a slower pace, like me, the hotel offers guided snowshoeing and hiking tours, allowing for guests to explore the winter landscapes on foot. Now, those trips provide a closer look at the alpine forests and animals, as well as the chance to experience peacefulness and isolation. Beyond the outdoor activities, though, the hotel's wellness facility includes a sauna, steam bath, and relaxation area. The on-site restaurant serves a variety of delicious dishes that highlight the flavors of South Tyrol, with an emphasis on locally sourced continental Shanghai Wonderland in China. The Intercontinental Shanghai Wonderland, which is also known as the Shimao Wonderland Intercontinental, is a great example of clever architecture. It's located in the Songjiang district, which is about 30 miles or about 48 kilometers to the southwest of downtown Shanghai. This unique hotel has been built into the side of a repurposed abandoned quarry, and in the process it's transformed industrial wastelands into a luxurious retreat. This deep quarry was once a source of raw materials for industrial use, and after these works was left with steep rock walls and a dramatic vertical drop, both were a challenge and an opportunity for the designers of the hotel. The decision to build the structure here was driven by a desire to create something that works with the natural landscape while showcasing human inventiveness. Construction began in 2006, and it took more than a decade to finish, with completion in 2018. The building process involved innovative techniques such as the way that the stabilized quarry walls of which are below ground, and two of which are submerged underwater, creating a unique underwater suite experience. The architects incorporated various eco-friendly features here, such as geothermal and solar energy systems to minimize the hotel's environmental footprint, and the quarry's natural ecosystem was carefully preserved and enhanced too. The hotel's design is futuristic, with a facade that features large glass windows that allow natural light to flood in, creating a sense of openness and connection with the surroundings. The underwater levels, though, are the highlight, with rooms that offer panoramic views of the aquatic life in the quarry's lake, enhanced by underwater lighting that creates a stunning display at night. Number 3. Jal Mahal Palace, India. The Jal Mahal, or the Water Palace, is one of the most intriguing landmarks in Jaipur in India. It's set in the middle of the Mansagar Lake. It blends Mughal and Rajput styles and attracts visitors with its location and scenery. It was built in the 18th century by Maharaja delicate jahrokas, which are the overhanging enclosed balconies. Access here is currently restricted, and visitors can only view the palace from the banks of the Mansagar Lake or from boats that offer a closer view. However, the area around the lake has been developed into a scenic promenade, where tourists and locals can enjoy leisurely walks, bird watching, and panoramic views. The lake and the palace have faced various environmental challenges over the centuries, including siltation and pollution. In recent years, significant restoration efforts have been undertaken to revive the lake and preserve the building, including the dredging of the lake, treating the water, and restoring the palace's structural integrity. One of the most popular reasons to visit here is to see the reflection of the palace in the calm waters of the lake, particularly during sunrise and sunset. The interplay of light and shadows, along with the surroundings, create a simply stunning sight that's further enhanced by the way the palace is also illuminated at night. Number 2. Coober Pedy, Australia. Coober Pedy. To escape the heat and freezing winter nights, the early settlers, many of whom were miners, took inspiration from the local indigenous people and began excavating homes into the hillsides and underground. The main material for these constructions is a type of sandstone or clay called bull dust, which is in plentiful supply in the region and provides excellent insulation, maintaining a consistent temperature inside the dugout regardless of the weather. The excavation process then involves digging into the rock to create a series of rooms and passageways. Now, traditional mining tools such as picks, shovels, and jackhammers are used, although modern dugouts may use more advanced machines to speed up the process. Ventilation shafts are placed to ensure a steady flow of fresh air and to prevent the buildup of moisture, and this allows each designer to make something that's truly unique. Homeowners can create their own layouts and designs that suit their personal preferences and needs. The benefits of living in a dugout go beyond climate control. These underground homes are highly energy efficient, reducing the need for heating and cooling. They also provide a research facility in South Dakota. The Sanford Underground Research Facility, or SURF for short, is in Leeds, South Dakota, and it's become a world-renowned center for scientific research. It is a state-of-the-art facility that's dedicated to a wide range of experiments in physics, biology, and geology, and it uses its unique position, deep underground, to explore fundamental questions. Instead of digging deep into the ground just to build the lab, SURF was actually built inside the Homestake Gold Mine, which was once the largest and deepest gold mine in North America. It ended operations in 2002 after more than 125 years of continuous mining, and rather than closing it for good, scientists and policymakers saw it as a great potential, with a vast network of underground tunnels and caverns, to turn it into a research facility. The concept was born, and in 2006, philanthropist T. Denny Sanford contributed $70 million to the project. The SURF facility uses the mine's deep shafts and expansive caverns to provide a unique environment for cutting-edge. The Lux experiment uses a tank filled with liquid xenon to detect the rare interactions between dark matter particles and ordinary matter. As well as the dark matter research, it's home to the Deep Underground Neutrino experiment in collaboration with hundreds of scientists worldwide. DUNE aims to study neutrinos, which are subatomic particles that are fundamental to our understanding of the universe. Since opening, SURF has already helped in a number of discoveries, from the most complicated ideas in physics to those in biology and even geology. The extreme conditions and unique environment here provide a natural lab for studying organisms that thrive in harsh conditions, and it has implications for understanding life on Earth and the potential for life on other planets. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you out there.